Welcome to the Unicorn Connector Show, where we talk about relationships, revenue, and referrals. We'll dig into opportunities for people to generate revenue by making referrals from the relationships they establish. We'll also cover tips to grow your network, leverage it, and get paid residual income for life. So today, I want to talk about interconnectivity and the 4 elements of the unicorn DNA that are attributed to interconnectivity. I'm also going to talk about why it's so important and how it contributes to my mission and how my mission contributes to interconnecting people to make a positive difference in the world. So first, what is interconnectivity? Interconnectivity, as a verb of the word interconnected, means to put or bring together so as to form a new and longer whole. Now, what is that even saying? To me, what that means is that when you bring people together in ways that support their dreams, support their passions, support their purpose, support what they stand for, support what they are trying to accomplish in this world, you can help those people create a more sustainable impact and give them ways to generate even more results for the things that they're trying to accomplish. And when you bring them together and they unite as one and leverage each other's resources and share their ideas and their thoughts and their network and all the different things that come from being interconnected, they can accomplish so much more and even faster. And not just faster, but in a more strategic and sustainable way. And so when I talk about interconnectivity, it directly supports my mission of connecting 1 billion unicorns. And when I say unicorns, those are people that fit within the unicorn DNA. And so people who fit the unicorn DNA, specifically when it comes to interconnectivity, follow under these 4 DNA strands, which are that you want to collaborate to build a better future. So people who are passionate about interconnectivity understand that when you bring those people together and they collaborate, they can build a better future. It really is so simple, because if 2 people are working on the same mission, the same purpose, the same impact that they want to create in the world, they can help each other. And when we bring multiples together, they can really do some damage. When you get a group of people who are passionate about making a positive difference, you can really create exponential change in the world. And so that's why the next strand of the DNA that falls under interconnectivity is that you want to impact the world and make a difference. And the way you're going to do that the best is by working together and uniting with one another and not working against each other and not worrying about who's going to be the best at whatever, who's going to create the most impact. You're going to create the most impact by working together. And that's why the DNA strand that says you want to impact the world and make a difference is part of interconnectivity. It also says that you look for opportunities to create joy in other people's lives. And this one is super important to me, because when you connect people for reasons outside of just professional reasons, but you do it for personal reasons, because you think they can be friends, because you think they'll be able to support each other, because you think they'll hold each other accountable, because you think of whatever it might be to help create additional joy in somebody's life simply because of personal reasons, you really can do exactly that. That is an opportunity to create joy. Interconnecting people because you think they're going to like each other is such a beautiful thing to do when making connections for people, when interconnecting people. So don't forget that. Don't just make connections for professional or monetary reasons. Make connections that support people, not projects, that support people's passions, that support people's needs and pains and struggles, where they can come together and be there for one another and become friends, become family, become united as a stronger whole and take care of each other. And maybe it's just a friendly conversation, but sometimes you can put two people together and they become best friends for life. And so you never want to hold back from making a connection between two people because of monetary reasons. If you think that two people can come together and it's going to benefit their life in one way or another, you should do it. Just do it. You might want to check with them first to see if that's something that they would actually want. But if you feel it, if you feel like the synergy is there from a personal standpoint, make the connection. You might get asked, how can we work together? You might get asked, how can we collaborate together? You might get asked if there are referral opportunities or what the strategic benefit is or what the ROI is on it. And you know what? That's fine. Just explain that this is about a personal connection. Because one thing that's really important to understand, especially in the world of business, is that businesses fail. Relationships are forever. As long as you focus on that, as long as you focus on the people and not the projects, again, you gotta focus on the people. You gotta focus on the relationships. You gotta focus on the interconnectivity that create a grander whole of unity in the world between two people or between two countries or two continents. We as a world are all in this together, and there's no reason for us to not bring people together when we think it's going to create joy in somebody else's life. And that brings me to the next point of the unicorn DNA that attributes to interconnectivity, which is that you're honest and ethical with genuinely good intentions. Now, the part of this that really sticks out is the genuinely good intentions part and the ethical component. Because when you make those connections for no reason other than you have a good intention that you think they're going to like each other and there's no monetary gain out of it, you're doing it just because you honestly feel like they would be a great connection to communicate with, because you think they'd be a great connection for some sort of situation they're dealing with or a hardship they've struggled with in the past. You never know. And so when you make those genuinely good intentional connections, you really could potentially even save somebody's life. You really can create so much more joy in their lives. And it's important to understand that at the end of the day, we are all interconnected. We are all humans on this planet. If you are listening to this, it doesn't matter where you are at in the world. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter how much money you've made, how much you've lost. If you're listening to this, you and I have something in common. You and I are interconnected just by the fact that you're listening to this. And I want to be connected to you. And I want to be connected to anybody who comes across my path that fits the unicorn DNA, who's passionate about making a positive difference in the world and making connections between people that create a positive difference in the world. And that's what it's all about. Because when we go against each other and we start thinking that there is this division between countries and between communities and between continents or race or anything like that, it confuses the reality, which is that we're all people. We are all humans on this planet. We are all interconnected in that way alone. And so there's no reason to hold back from bringing people together and finding ways to collaborate, because competition is dead. If you're trying to compete in this day and age, you will be dead. If it's business, over. Stop competing and start collaborating. Some of the greatest successes in the world have come together from two competitors deciding to collaborate over compete. And when you collaborate versus compete and you start leveraging each other's strengths and supporting each other's weaknesses, you can create monumental things in this world. You can create systematic change that drives progress in exponential ways. You can bring people together who are passionate about things that otherwise wouldn't have happened if you were just if you were competing against each other and you went head to head to prevent each other from accomplishing what they're trying to accomplish, when the reality is that you're probably both trying to accomplish something similar. If you find somebody who seems competitive to what you're doing, it's because you have a similar mission. So collaborate. Think abundantly by collaborating instead of thinking it with a scarcity mindset and competing, because that alone is a quick way to know that somebody has a scarcity mindset, is if they focus on competing versus collaborating. Because when you collaborate, you can achieve far greater things than when you compete. Don't put your energy and resources into negative competition. Put it into positive collaboration. Because by connecting people and interconnecting organizations and countries and the world to collaborate, to make a positive impact, and to accomplish the missions we're set out to accomplish, and free us up to do the things that we're the most passionate about, that is how we can create even more joy in this world. So I encourage you that the next time you feel that competitive bug in a way that brings somebody else down, to stop and think about how you can collaborate with them instead of compete with them, and open it up to that. Because most people will be open to collaborating. Most people will see the value in sharing resources. Most people will want to share resources and leverage each other's networks and leverage each other's strengths and support each other's weaknesses. So always remember that by interconnecting people and doing it in a collaborative way, we can really make a positive impact in the world. If you're looking to generate revenue by being a connector or by getting referrals for your existing business, then check out how Unicorn Universe creates abundance through connections in our community by going to unicornconnector.com. That's unicornconnector.com. Stay tuned, follow us, and hit the subscribe button as we expand on ways to grow your network, generate income from opportunities we avail, interview our partners and connectors, and show you how to become the magical unicorn connector that you are.